Hi, I'm Emma, and today we're talking about something that might be uncomfortable to hear. You work hard. You stay late. You deliver quality work. You do everything right. And still, you're not moving forward the way you expected.
Hi, I'm Alex, and here's the truth. Hard work isn't enough anymore. It never really was, but now, in modern workplaces, especially international ones, it's more visible than ever.
And this isn't about being lazy or cutting corners. It's about understanding that competence alone doesn't drive careers. Visibility does. Communication does. Positioning does.
Exactly. And for a lot of people, this feels unfair. Because we were raised to believe that if you work hard and do good work, you'll be recognized. But that's not how it works in practice.
Let's start with what I call the hard work trap. You put your head down, you focus on your tasks, you deliver great results, and you assume people notice.
But they don't. Not because they don't care, but because they're busy. They're focused on their own work. And if you're not actively showing what you're doing, it's invisible.
I've seen this so many times. Someone works incredibly hard for months, delivers an amazing project, and then gets passed over for a promotion. And they're shocked.
Right. And the person who got promoted, maybe they didn't work as hard, but they were visible. They spoke up in meetings. They shared updates. They made sure people knew what they were contributing.
And that's the uncomfortable truth. Results matter, but visibility matters more, because people can only reward what they see.
Exactly. And this is where English comes in, because visibility in international workplaces happens through communication, through meetings, through emails, through presentations.
Let's talk about meetings. This is where visibility happens most. And for a lot of professionals, especially when English isn't their first language, meetings are stressful.
Oh, absolutely. You're thinking about grammar, pronunciation, whether people will understand you. And while you're thinking about all of that, someone else is speaking.
And here's what happens. The person who speaks, even if their idea isn't perfect, becomes visible. The person who stays quiet, even if they have the best idea, becomes invisible.
And over time, visibility creates opportunity. Invisible people don't get promoted. They don't get new projects. They don't get considered for leadership roles. Not because they're not capable, but because no one knows they're capable.
Right. And I know what some people are thinking, but my work should speak for itself. And I get that. But in reality, work doesn't speak. You have to speak for your work.
So let's talk about how to do this without feeling like you're bragging, because that's a big concern for a lot of people.
It is. And the key is to think about communication as strategy, not personality. You don't have to be naturally outgoing. You just need to be intentional.
For example, in meetings, instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you can create the moment. Say something like, I'd like to add something here if that's okay.
Or, building on what was just said, this shows you're engaged and gives you an entry point into the conversation.
And when you finish a project, don't just submit it and move on. Send a quick message. Just wanted to update you. I've completed the analysis. Here are the key findings.
That's visibility. You're not bragging. You're just making sure people know what you're doing.
And in English, there are softer ways to share your achievements. Instead of, I did this, you can say, I was able to complete this, or I had the chance to work on this. It sounds humble, but still communicates your contribution.
Another place where visibility matters is feedback. A lot of people wait for feedback to come to them, but that's passive.
Right. And in many workplaces, feedback doesn't come unless you ask for it. So you need to actively seek it. You can say, I'd love to get your feedback on this when you have a moment.
Or, I want to make sure I'm on the right track. Do you have any suggestions? This shows initiative and keeps you visible.
And positioning matters too. Positioning is how you talk about your work. It's not what you do, it's how you frame what you do.
For example, instead of saying, I fixed a bug, you could say, I resolved an issue that was affecting user experience.
Same work, different framing. One sounds like a task, the other sounds like impact, and impact is what gets remembered. Let's talk about speaking up, because this is where a lot of people struggle. They have ideas but don't share them because they're afraid of how it will sound.
And I understand that fear. But here's the thing. You don't need to have the perfect idea to speak up. You just need to contribute to the conversation.
Right. You can say things like, I'm wondering if we've considered this angle, or one thing that came to mind is, these phrases are low pressure.
And even if your idea doesn't get used, you've been visible. You've shown that you're present and thinking, and over time, that builds a reputation. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. For many people listening to this, English adds a layer of difficulty to all of this.
Absolutely. And I want to be clear, your English doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. But it does have to be functional. You need to be able to share your ideas, ask questions, give updates.
And the good news is that visibility phrases are actually pretty simple. I'd like to add, I was thinking, could I share something? These are short, easy to remember, and incredibly effective.
And the more you use them, the more natural they become. It's not about being fluent, it's about being present.
Exactly. And honestly, being slightly imperfect but consistently present is better than being perfect but invisible. So here's the reality check. If you're working hard but not moving forward, ask yourself, am I visible? Do people know what I'm working on? Do I speak up in meetings?
Because if the answer is no, that's the problem. Not your skills, not your work ethic, your visibility.
And visibility isn't about being fake or political. It's about making sure your contributions are seen and understood.
And in international workplaces, that happens through English, through communication, through small, consistent actions.
If this resonated with you, we'd love it if you subscribed. Every week, we're breaking down real professional English and career strategies that actually work.
And leave us a comment. Tell us, what's one thing you've done at work that no one noticed? We read every comment and we're here to help.
Hard work matters.
But visibility matters more.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.